Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Another news clip in. Why is table salt iodized? I'm not going to read it all. I'm going to try and cut the video down as much as possible. But just get right into it. It's probably sitting in your kitchen cabinet right now. A container of salt, maybe the familiar Blue Morton salt canister with a little girl carrying an umbrella with the word iodized somewhere on the label. Now I'm going to scroll through this and I'm going to give you kind of a quick rundown of this. The story begins with sea salt. I wouldn't say story. This is actual facts or acts of actual events. Story means it's made up. And this is not made up. Okay, that begins with seaweed, ash, and gunpowder, runs through a scientific priority battle, and ends with one of the most effective nutritional interventions ever devised. Adding iodine to salt helped vanquish a problem that had plagued humankind for millennia, and the effects occurred within a single generation. I'm going to scroll through it here. And basically in 1811... Napoleonic Wars, French chemist, and so on and so on. Crucial ingredients in the gunpowder. France was running out of wood, a traditional source of saltpeter and wood ash. Government urgently needed alternatives. So basically, they discovered this. You can read it. I'm not going to read it all. I'm going to skip through some of it. Basically, people lacked iodine. And they discovered this stuff when they were messing with their tanks and their weapons and stuff. And I'm just going to scroll. You can pause it anytime. That's what the bottle looks like. Medicine takes notice. Here we go. This is the point. Found that small doses of iodine could shrink goiters. Often dramatically, goiters are enlargements of the thyroid gland located at the base of the neck, caused most commonly by a lack of iodine in the diet. That's why they put iodine in salt. It helped cure a lot of the goiters, bumps, and stuff like that was on that people had, and it didn't cure all of the goiters, just the ones with lacking iodine. And like I said, I'll just scroll it a little bit, and you can pause it and read it. I'm going to keep going, which is quite neat. They got it from seaweed, dried or ashed seaweed is where the remedy, and then so right here it says iodine deficiency truly was, nor how crucial iodine would prove for brain development and general health. Why goiters formed? Well, there you go. When the thyroid cannot make enough hormones due to lack of iodine to compensate, the glands enlarges, sometimes dramatically. Iodine is present in seawater and coastal soils, but glaciation, flooding, and leaching stripped it from many inland regions. There you go. And that's why they put iodine in salt, which is an awesome thing they did. Now, this doesn't cure all of them, all of the goiters and stuff, but it did help quite a bit. I said, where does salt come from, or where salt comes in? Iodine is essential not only for preventing goiter, but also for producing the thyroid hormones that regulate metabolism, support heart and digestive function, and play a critical role in fetal and infant brain development for public health. There you go. There you go. And you can pause it and read the rest. I'm just kind of giving you a summary just in case you didn't know where this came from. Why they put iodine in salt. See, it says there are occasional setbacks, including outbreaks of iodine-induced hyperthyroidism among adults with long-standing nodular goiters, but the public health benefits were overwhelming. Within a generation, goiter rates plunged across former deficiency regions. And here it is. This is kind of the gist of it right here. Iodized salt today, more than 120 countries now require iodization of all food-grade salt globally. The percentage of households consuming iodized salt rose from about 25% in 1990 to roughly two-thirds today. Although the health benefits of iodine had been known for decades, uptake was slow in certain parts of the world due to, in part, public relations battles. It remains one of the cheapest and most effective nutritional interventions in the world. The United States takes a voluntary approach. Most table salt is iodized, but many processed foods rely on non-iodized salt, and labeling iodine content is not mandatory. Even so, iodine intake is supported by dairy, where it occurs thanks to cleaners used on whatever that is, and milk cans. Iodine is also in disinfectant. Seafood, grains, eggs, widespread efficiency has been largely prevented. Still, an estimated 2 billion people worldwide remain iodine deficient, especially where iodine or iodized salt is scarce or costly. Some countries fortify bread instead of distribute iodized oil capsules. Set out to make gunpowder more efficient and ended up uncovering an element that transformed global nutrition. A violent vapor rising from a seaweed vat in 1811 eventually led to a simple solution: added iodine to everyday salt that has prevented goiters, improved cognitive health, and safeguarded generations against a once common deficiency. There you go, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, guys and gals, that's why we have iodized salt. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I do these little clips here and there. You're welcome to support me by subscribing, buying me a coffee, or just watching a full video of my channel. That help me out. I'd really appreciate that. And thank you so much. This is where the iodized stuff come from. Remember, when people say the word story, usually that word means it's some part of it is made up or fake, or it's a fairy tale, or can you read me a bedtime story? That's all baloney. So and they say it in the news, they say it everywhere, and I mention this every once in a while. Yeah, there's two. You can look up the word story for the definition, and you'll get two different takes. You'll get one, either it's when they say story, it means it's all true, or some part of it or all of it, it's fake. I prefer to not use the word story when we're talking about actual facts, acts of a person's life, because when I hear the word story, it means they're making something up, and it's usually what it is. So, and I also made a video talking about that a little bit more, that word story. If you follow along my channel for a long period of time, you eventually would catch that in one of my videos. I talk about it. So, thank you so much. I do not like that word story. So you know, I do say it only like with video games or something that's made up. This is not made up. This is not a story. This is factual. So there's a big difference. So I leave that word story out, even though that they mentioned it in this, because they don't seem to understand that. Because I'm old school, and that's how I learned it, and that's how I'm going to stay with it. All right, take care, everybody. Moving on to the next video. Please support me. Take care.